This is an absolute steal for the St. Louis Blues as they draft a prolific power forward in the 2025 draft, regarded as one of the best hands out of any prospect in the draft. We're going to break down everything you need to know on this hidden gem that the St. Louis Blues just drafted that's going to have a huge impact on their future for the years to come. We're going to break down everything on this prospect, what to expect, and so much more later on this episode. So before we get into that, I just want to give a huge shout out to every Blues fan that has been watching this. We just launched today. We're almost at 500 subscribers. I want to give a huge shout out from Darius and I for watching this content, supporting us, and letting us cover the St. Louis Blues for you. But with that, let's just hop straight into where we did see today. The St. Louis Blues just about 20 minutes ago drafted Justin Carbonneau with pick number 19. Going into Carbonneau, you can pause, you can read through this elite prospect, has him at a very good player when it comes to skill. He's a power forward, he loves to shoot the puck, and he has elite hands. Darius, what is your thoughts on Carbonneau joining this team, and what do you think his impact will be with the Blues?
Well, I know Steele has, been thrown around a lot, and everyone likes to talk about every single player that they're drafting in different fan bases, that this is a steal and all that. This is a steal for the St. Louis Blues at number 19. This is one of the best. He has some of the best hands in the entire draft, and he's a big body, right? This is not a guy, he's over 6 feet tall. He's not a small player at all. He likes to throw the body around too. We'll get into that in a little bit. One insider has called him a tank, so that's pretty exciting, I think, for St. Louis Blues fans. I think there's a lot of reasons to be excited. He put up great numbers in the QMJHL this year. He missed some time as well. He didn't play in every single game, and his numbers are absolutely fantastic. Doesn't shy away from the penalty box either, as you can tell there. So that's pretty interesting. I think that's an interesting thing to keep an eye on as we move forward here into the future. And if he can clean that up a little bit, or maybe it's just, part of his game. That's not necessarily a bad thing sometimes in the playoffs either, to have that, physicality and play on the edge as well. So definitely like that from him. But yeah, like you mentioned and alluded to, I mean, great hands, does have some speed to him as well. And again, loves to shoot the puck. So this is a really, really good move for the St. Louis Blues. And I think Blues fans are just absolutely ecstatic right now, because to get this guy at 19, I think is a great job for sure.
And I mean, Carbonneau is going to be a player that comes in and makes an impact when he makes it into the league. You can see from multiple people his stick handling real. He's unreal, body deception, follow up motor, explosive defenders. He does everything you want out of a winger, and he's going to come in and make an impact in the next couple of years for this Blues team. You can continue on 62 games played, 46 goals, 89 points, a +3, 3 points in 5 playoff games. He's going to be a character that can come in, be a big body. 6'1", doesn't seem the biggest, but he's still such a young player at 18 years old. The stick handling is going to be elite. Someone that can score you goals. He's going to slide into this already really good prospect pool for the St. Louis Blues for the years to come. But you can pause, you can read through this. Elite prospect says he might not be the purest in the power forwards. He can hit, retrieve pucks, protect them, and drive them right into the cage. He does everything you want. Pause this and read through it. But overall, the biggest thing with this Blues team is we're seeing speculation. We've seen Snuggerud step up and be a huge point. We're seeing the rumors flow around on Kyrou. But do you think this just makes it more scary for the opponents when they finally face this Blues team at full power? They get Carbonneau, Snuggerud's into his prime. We see all these young guys fully step up. Looking at the future of this team, do you think Carbonneau can join this top six in maybe even 2 years?
Yes, and for the reason that you just alluded to, and you named off a bunch of things, a bunch of his strengths that everyone has out there right now in terms of who this player is. There are so many players that got drafted, and not just this draft, but the last couple years, that don't do what this guy does, and he knows how to use his body effectively. His skill set will translate to the NHL level. Absolutely, it will, right? There's a lot of other players that have very high upside. They can score at the junior level, all of those things. But what he brings to the table will actually translate to the NHL level pretty seamlessly, I think. And I think that he will be ready. He's also a late birthday. So he's actually a 2006 born. We got to keep that in mind as well, too. So he is actually a little bit older than everyone else who was drafted this year. So, he's going to continue to mature. Like you mentioned, he's a very deceptive skater. All of these things that he brings to the table, the hands, the fact that he loves to shoot, he knows how to use his body. He's a physical player. And I mean, 6'1", he's not the biggest player. It's not like he's 6'6" or something like that, right? But he knows how to use his body effectively and he drives the net. And, he can be a play driver as well. I mean, you saw some of the clips off the top there. He's driving play, he can score off the rush. I think it's pretty exciting for Blues fans. So I think that's why you should be most excited about this, because I feel like he's a lot closer than people realize at this point. I'm not saying he's a year away or anything like that, right? Like he might take a little bit still, but a little bit closer than most people will realize. And his skill set will translate to the NHL level. There's so many question marks with some draft picks sometimes, even in the first round. I think that this guy has a bright future in the NHL. And it's interesting because you alluded to it, Jordan Kyrou, there's rumors out there right now, right? So, I don't think, this guy Carbonneau is going to push him out immediately, but you got to start thinking about stuff like that over the next couple of days. And, how does Snuggerud fit into the team? And does he replace Kyrou? Stuff like that. Of course, we don't know if it's actually going to happen or if it's even a good idea. But that being said, I feel like he will make an impact at the NHL level and probably soon.
And like you said, and you alluded to earlier, from Scott Wheeler, who covers everything to do in prospects, check out his stuff. He does incredible work. He's a tank. Why Carbonneau's blend of skill and strength makes him one of the top power forwards in this draft. And a lot of people had Carbonneau ranked in 12, the 13 kind of range. Getting them this far into it at pick number 19 just shows how good the Blues have done with their scouting, and Carbonneau is going to be an impact. I mean, the biggest thing is we know they had the first round pick. It goes into the 5th and 6th round. These are the only picks they have going in, but I'm really excited to see what the Blues do here. We know they need to add maybe another center into this pool. We're going to touch on a couple prospects. We know they can add some more defensemen, but I think with a lot of late bloomers in the later halves, we could see a defensive prospect join this, and we're going to cover that, and you're not going to want to miss it. But looking at this list of just prospects, Dvorsky's not even on this list. Darius, is this a team where, yes, they made it to Game 7 versus the President's Trophy and the Winnipeg Jets? Do you think this is a team, once they get fully ready, and listen, everyone's going to say yes, but looking at this prospect pool, I do truly think the Blues are on the verge of something absolutely incredible, and I think the prospects working their way through the system are going to be a huge impact on it.
And because the team is so good right now and they have everyone locked up to contract extensions, like they're one of those rare teams right now that don't really have to worry too much about UFAs and RFAs because they have so few of them. They know exactly what their team probably, with, barring any trades, is going to look like. It's pretty solidified, right? And you have a lot of the guys like Dvorsky, like you mentioned, some of these prospects continuing to develop. They're not rushing them, right? They're saying, okay, you're down there in the AHL or you're still back in junior, continue to develop, or overseas, wherever they're playing, right? Continue to develop, and then we will see you in a couple years and you're going to be effective players. So I feel like they're probably going to take their time still to a degree with some of these prospects, right? But I feel like they're going to be better for that. And I think that Blues fans should be really excited because when you look towards the future, just a couple of years from now, you're going to have a lot of guys who are ready, or who aren't being thrown into the fire and saying, all right, sink or swim, let's see what you got, right? They're going to be ready and prepared for this and, develop. So really like it. And again, what they're doing with the AHL squad and Dvorsky, just as an example, we keep bringing him up. I mean, he's going to be a great NHLer, I think, and they're just taking their time with him. So I feel like they're doing that with most of their prospects. And again, you have a new GM kind of waiting in the weeds as well, who's going to come in. So everything that the Blues are doing, patience, but they're doing it with a lot of class, a lot of grace, and they're making a lot of the right decisions. Every time they kind of come to a fork in the road, it seems like they do tend to go to the right side, which is really good if you're a Blues fan.
And I mean, Blues fans, what is your thoughts on Carbonneau? Because in our opinion, this is looking like the steal of the draft. What is your thoughts of this youth movement that's coming through? We're going to see Dvorsky hop in. When players in this Blues lineup start to get older and towards the end of their careers, you have a full youth movement to slide in. What are your guys' thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on Carbonneau? Who would you like them to draft in the 5th and 6th round? I know that's really far into the draft, but what pick would you like? Would you like a defenseman, a goalie, a center? What is it? Let us know down below, and we will be covering all of it, so you don't want to miss that. But that'd be it for this episode. Make sure you're going to hit the like, subscribe, share this with your friends. Once again, thank you so much, Blues fans. These videos are so fun to watch, and seeing the support has been awesome. Shout out to you guys for even making this possible. But once again, we hope you enjoyed it, but that'd be it for this episode, and take care.